Hi, I'm Janet with Create, Launch, Grow, Design. I'm a web designer and developer for small businesses who have outgrown their website and need a hand going from stuck to strategic. And the way that we do that here is by using SEO best practices and a thoughtful design process to level up your online presence and keep you moving forward, creating a client experience that turns your visitors into buyers.
Hi, I'm Lauren Newton, and I'm a web designer with an eye for SEO. I help small businesses with their online presence by increasing website traffic and boosting conversion rates, ultimately turning more visitors into loyal customers.
I'm Kate Newnham from Up Designs, and I really enjoy working with health and wellness entrepreneurs who want to make a difference. They're like fired up. They have a bigger mission to help people in the world, and they need a website that is, awe-inspiring, memorable, strategic, and can get them to where they need to go and help them achieve their business goals. And they have this tremendous value, and I just want to make sure their website reflects that.
And welcome back to our roundtable series all about websites. We are a group of website strategists, designers, developers, and tech specialists that help entrepreneurs elevate their businesses through their websites. So today we are going to talk about how to choose the right web designer for your business. And we're going to be talking about what questions to ask web designers and how to make sure you're choosing the right partner for your goals with your website. So we're going to kick it off today. Kate, do you want to get started?
Sure. Yeah. Happy to be here. Hi, everyone. So I think really the first thing you want to do is go to their website, right? Do you like their website? You have to look through their case studies, look through their niche, decide if, this could be a good fit for me, and look for their experience too. But on top of all that, once you sort of think, maybe yes, I don't know, get on a call with them. I think don't underestimate how you can get a good vibe off of somebody, right? And, with most web strategists or designers, they're not pushy. I'm not pushy, I just want to be helpful, and if at the end you decide to work together, great. And if you don't, no hard feelings. But you can usually get a couple of nuggets in that consult on how you can improve your business. But also you can get a vibe, right? Like, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? Am I excited to work with this person? Right? Because that can go a long way in helping you get where you want, right? Because it is your business and it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think making sure that you vibe with that person, you're going to be working with them on a pretty big project together. So you want to make sure that you trust the person they are and you trust their past work. And I think, yeah, I agree with you, like looking at their past work, making sure that whatever their focus is on is what you're looking for. If you're looking for an e-commerce website, have they done e-commerce websites before? Or are they open to it? That's where I think getting on a strategy call to see, do they offer the services that you're looking for? Can really help and assist with that. But yeah, just making sure, just from like a initial standpoint, making sure that the vibe is right, that you like their branding, that the branding that they've created, if you're looking for branding, is the branding that they created for other people, kind of in line with what you're envisioning as well. And kind of getting a sense of like kind of the creative span of what they have created already. I think that gives you like a good first impression of what they can do for you. And then hopping on a strategy call again is just like the next step of making sure, like verifying that that's like the person you want to work with.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you work with them. You want to make sure it's a fit, right? And you want to make sure that you vibe together, because people like working with people they want to work with, right? I want to work with you as much as you want to work with them, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I totally agree with checking out their portfolio and even going and looking at their socials to see what people are saying there. And once you have a chance to have a chat, when you have a chat and you're like, okay, I like this person, and then just start asking questions. There's a lot of questions you probably don't know to ask, like what happens after the project's over? Is like, do you have a support period? Will I be able to make changes? And like everybody wants to know, what about SEO, and what are the so ask them, do they have SEO best practices, and what does that mean for you? And see what they say and find out what their process is.
Yeah. And if you want a one and done and you're just looking for someone to build it and you want to go on your way, totally fine. That's too good too. I totally agree with you, Janet, on the long-term potential and how else they can help you, right? So how they can help you with your website. But if you're really looking for a long-term partner, and which a lot of people don't decide until after the website's over and they go, okay, this was a great experience. How else can the person, but like you were saying, Jenna, it's thinking about the end in addition to the beginning, like,
Right.
can they also do marketing stuff for me? Or can they also help me drive business to my website? Because just creating a website, we're not responsible as website designers to get people there, right?
Yeah.
We're responsible for keeping them there and helping them convert, but you got to get people there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, I don't know that a lot of people think about, like, after the project's done, like how it also can help. And we were chatting a little bit before about, like, a lot of times, people say, like, okay, I want a website, but what else? They might not even know the questions to ask of, like, how the website can improve their business and streamline processes and stuff like that. I was on a consult with somebody who had a business and didn't realize that the website could actually help people book consults and put those consults right on his Google Calendar. So that just takes a whole piece of his, managing his business behind the scenes out of it. So making sure that you're asking your website designer, like, are there things that they can see that could be an improvement to your business and your processes just based on whatever your business is? And, do they have experience with just streamlining processes potentially behind the scenes, if that's something you're looking for in your business?
That's a really good point. I like that. And, just, asking what opportunities they see. I love that. And maybe even asking about the tech, like what tech is involved. Are they going to have to mess with the tech, or is the web designer going to do all the tech so they don't have to worry about it? And, if they have to make some decisions, are they going to have recommendations from the web designer or whatever?
Yes.
The tech can be scary, as you guys know.
Yeah, and empowering them to update their website on their own if they don't want those services, right? So saying, I know all of us do it. We provide training at the end, and usually a grace period after a Q&A to, quality assurance. So it's not like you mentioned before, dropping somebody, and saying, okay, here you go, here's the site. And I've actually heard a ton of times that happening to people, which is so surprising to me, right? They're like, I don't know how to update anything on my site. I'm like, really? It's your site. Have somebody that, ideally when you're filling out this first consult, you can say, like, oh, this is somebody I want to work with long-term, but also had she given me, even if I don't use them, has that person given me the training video, the in-person training, potentially, if that's what I also need, the grace period after to kind of get ramped up and be like, oh my gosh, how do I work this thing now that they built it? And, the truth is, like, sometimes it depends on the platform. You could probably update some things yourself, if you use that training video.
Yeah. Yeah. And that just is giving you, like, tools to empower yourself as a business owner to change things if you need to on the fly and not have to wait around for a web designer to do it. It's something done, like, very quickly and immediately. So yeah, having a website designer who is giving you those tools and the knowledge you need in order to do that is great.
Yeah.
And a good question to ask, like, in a consult with web designer, is like what kind of support they give for you and training afterwards.
And pricing, right? Because some that is important. I mean, Jen and I were actually on a call with a potential client and said, like, what platform would be best for her? Because some platforms are much more expensive than others, and she was totally open to the platform. And the truth is, like, while upfront the platform might not have been more expensive, if you look at the plugins, if you look at all of those things, the long term of it was, a lot of money every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on your business, right? So if you're just a solo entrepreneur and you're, getting ramped up and you don't want to have to spend the maintenance costs every month to make sure that functions the way you want it to function, that's a conversation you have to have up front too, if that's a thing for you.
Yeah, that's a great point. And there's, like, definitely some website strategy that goes into that. It's just making sure, like, that your web designer's knowledgeable enough with the different, tools and platforms and plugins that they can make sure it fits your budget and your needs for where you are, but allows you also to, like, grow in the future if you need to, if you're planning.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it goes, like, full circle almost, like all these questions and concerns and things like that they have all goes back to, are you comfortable with this person?
Yeah.
When you first meet them or talk to them or whatever.
Absolutely. And you touched on very briefly testimonials earlier. And, I'm all about, I'm a big psychology nerd with, like, how things affect people and help people make their decision and all of that. And I find, well, it's like a psychological principle that you trust what other people have to say about somebody or a product or whatever than hearing it from their own mouth.
Yeah.
which is super funny. So I look at those testimonials, right? And video testimonials are fantastic. If you're listening to this, I want to start doing video testimonials as well, because hearing it from actual people you've helped is hugely impactful for our business and for your business.
Yeah.
But look at their Google My Business, which Lauren knows a lot about, and getting referrals that way, which is a whole nother topic on how you don't even know to ask to set up, Google My Business, but Lauren knows how, and she'll tell you. So that's, that's another big difference between a strategist. They'll tell you those things, potentially that a designer might not. But I think those are important things to keep in mind too, what other people say about that person.
Yeah. And something also to mention is, maybe as a first step, even before looking for a web designer, is maybe even just sitting down and making sure, kind of asking yourself, like, how do you want the project to run? Do you want the project to be run by a strategist, an expert who has a process in place and has it down to a T? Or are you looking, or do you have like a vision in your head and you just need somebody to get that out and you're going to be leading the project? So maybe doing some self-reflection on figuring out what kind of project what would be your best case scenario, how you want the project run. So that when you go in to have a consultation or, looking at different web designers, making sure that that's aligned with what your goals are as well.
Yeah. Do you need a lot of hand holding or not hand holding, or, are you brand new? Are you just starting your business, or are you like trying to go to the next level?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I've had clients come to me and say that website from a competitor or a faraway competitor is exactly what I want. Do that one. And that's like, they're not looking for strategy. They know exactly what they want. They're very clear on it. A lot of times they might be, chief marketing officers or someone who's been in the business a long time, who has, moved into an entrepreneurial role now and has started their own thing. And they'll come and they'll say, this is what I want, make it happen. Right. And of course, I'm not going to copy another website, but, we'll provide our own little, tweaks and things like that to make it their own and make sure it reflects that person specifically. But so there's that type. You still have to make sure you can trust them to execute and all of that stuff. And then there's the type that, and usually it's if you're earlier, I would say, in your business, or if you come, whatever stage you are, we deal with all stage people, whatever stage you are, that person will meet you at that stage and say, okay, to get to the next level, this is what we have to do, right? But strategists will ask you, they want to work with you as a partner, right? Like, tell me what I don't know. What don't I know? Right. How can you tell me what I need? I won't tell you what I need, or I think I need this. And we go, okay, we'll have you consider X, Y, and Z, to really, and we're all helpers. We all like helping people,
Yeah, how it digs into their, the strategist is going to dig into their process, and if it's going to work, they'll give them some different opportunities on how to improve it, or how it's going to support their business or their lifestyle or whatever their goals are.
Actually, interesting. Somebody came to me thinking they knew exactly what they wanted not that long ago, and it was a much bigger, higher profit company, and they put together this thing, and they were their goal was to be helpful for sure, and they put together sort of a PowerPoint, crazy, it wasn't anything designed, it was just a layout of the types of images they wanted to use and the types of flow that they wanted to have, and it was sort of a website that was like scrolling sort of left to right in a sense. And I thought that's super creative and super different, and I think that uniquely would stand out very much so. But according to like standard website flow and best practices, that probably wouldn't be sort of so they were still open, even though they had a really strong idea of what they wanted once they heard the rationale. And also it's not an accessible website. So accessibility standards, which I know is a big thing now, you shouldn't give unexpected user flows. It's sort of and I think Lauren, you're the expert on this, but you shouldn't give unexpected user flows to your website. And that's not something you would know if you weren't in the website industry, or if you haven't gotten a note in the mail saying your website, which law firms actually, there are specific law firms who actually do that now. All they do is pass out those, legal cease and assist. Your website isn't accessible, make it accessible. But that's another thing, right, Lauren?
Yeah, definitely. It's just making sure that you're hiring somebody that, has at least some basic knowledge on, conventions of website design and what is just easily navigatable and easily usable, because something can look pretty and it can be really cool and interactive. But if it's confusing for people that land on it, and you're not getting the conversions that you want, that could be one of the reasons. It's because the design is even though it's beautiful, it's pretty, and it's unique, it's too unique, and it's going to actually confuse people and steer them away. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about the clarity of messaging. I think in our last video, if anyone listening wants to go check that out, and how even a moment of confusion when somebody lands on your website will send them off very quickly, and that's the number one way to lose someone who's potentially interested, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
User experience is like number one.
Yes. And always looking at it from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Always looking at, from your user's perspective. And it's very hard to do that objectively, right? Which is why it's good to have a partner to do these things rather than just do it yourself. Like, get in the mindset. What are they thinking? What do they want? What are their pain points when they come to your site?
Yes.
Are you the solution to their problems?
That's
actually,
actually,
it makes me think of copy, like how copy is related to this. Their website copy, like being clear, talking to their clients' wants and needs, not just like, I do this and I do that and I'm so great and whatever. But now I forgot where I was going to go with that. But that's just another question to ask. I think that's where I was going at the beginning. Like, are you going to provide copy help? Do you have a copywriter? Are you going to write your own copy?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that know they need a website sometimes don't even think about the words that go on the website, but that's definitely a good question to ask, the whole copywriting thing. And what Kate was saying was reminding me too, that like, see if your website, if you do care a lot about conversion rates, does your website designer have any support afterwards to like do any sort of metrics and like show how people are using the site, where they're spending the most time on the site, and maybe doing some follow-up, design revisions if needed, just based on what they're seeing. I had a client, she's an SEO client of mine, and her first website was doing great. Like she was getting like dozens of consults every month from Google. And then she got a redesign of her website, and her traffic, like her conversions tanked. And we had no idea why, because her traffic was pretty consistent. So we installed Hotjar to track conversions and kind of see like what people are doing on the site. We realized they were all dropping off in her services page because her prices were listed. And there's a whole debate on whether you show prices or you don't show prices, but she had not been showing prices. Now she's showing prices and getting so many little, like no consults. So once we identified the problem, we took down her pricing and her consultations came back up. So it's just like wild, but sometimes when you do a redesign, you might not even realize, that something could be affecting conversions or sales. So having like a website strategist that is willing to support you afterwards if you need that, just kind of put that in the back of your head if that's something you want, to see if your web designer could do something like that.
Yeah, like to include in the package regular follow-ups, right? Or, or to ask that web designer, do you have, a way to measure this afterwards, right? And I think Hotjar I was actually going to mention also, that is a great tool to install. It literally has like heated, for those of you listening, it will show you the actual user scrolling through the site, where they stop. Specifically, I think they show even like heat maps. Do they show heat maps too in one of theirs? I remember saying, and yeah, it's great. And so, are they hooking up Google Analytics to your site? Are they hooking up Hotjar? Are they giving you, is it a quarterly report? Is it, is there something like that can help also? That's a great point.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. God, we've covered so many good things. There's tons of things to ask your web designer. We all have some kind of, list that we go through in our strategy or our kickoff calls, more in our kickoff calls when someone becomes a client, and we go through and we ask all the questions. We go through like branding, a lot of us go through copywriting, SEO, we go through everything to make sure we're covered off on everything. And as I would say, that's a strategy type thing. Also,
definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
Make sure you guys are covered, like whoever our clients are.
Yeah.
We're invested. Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been great.
It's really good.
That too.
Thank you all. It's great.
So many rabbit holes. So many rabbit holes you could go down in this topic.
I know, right? We'll keep it short for the sake of our busy clients, busy prospects. So yeah, if you want to contact any of us, we'll put our information below, and be sure to check out our other videos. We'll be releasing a bunch more also, and they're all at youtube.com/@web strategy collective. And we'll also put the link below. So thanks, gals.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank
everyone.
you. It's fun.